Hello everyone, I'm Panagiotis Papantoniou and I will chair this session. I think that we can wait 2-3 minutes as more people are joining the room, and in 2-3 minutes we will start the session. So I think that we are stable now in terms of participants. And I think that we can start this session. Let me introduce you myself. I'm Panagiotis Papantoniou. I'm from Greece. I'm assistant professor at the University of West Attica. I'm a civil transportation engineer. And I'm presenting in the next session some transport-related developments from a Greek university. However, I have the pleasure to be the chair in this session that, as you all know, has to do with energy and climate change management in universities in this pandemic time. And we have four presenters
Recording
in this
in progress.
session. We have four presenters in this session. As you all know, the procedure is that I will give the floor to each of the presenters to give us a brief overview of their video, of their recording in 3-4 minutes. And then we'll have time to discuss. So I will be very happy to receive some questions in the chat. And we will moderate it to have a fruitful discussion. We are a little bit back in time, but I think that we'll be ready at 10 o'clock Malaysian time. So let me introduce Professor Harashima, who is the president of Chiba University of Commerce of Japan. Professor Harashima is here, I think.
Yes, yeah. Thank you very much.
Perfect. So
Yeah.
you have some minutes to give us a feedback.
Yeah, a few minutes. Okay. Hello, I'm Sachihiko Harashima from Japan, at Chiba University of Commerce. And we established the Renewable Energy University League of Japan, and just 2 months ago in June. And addressing the energy issue, by universities is significant in 2 ways or 3 ways. The first is that university can influence entities such as the businesses, local governments, public organizations, and NGOs. Second, we have a mission to educate students who can transform society into one powered by 100% by renewable energy. So transform the society. And thirdly, so by this, university could be a key station of transforming society, especially in decentralized society. So, and for this, we have this kind of activities. I think the most important point, the first is to start by declaration of becoming an early 100 university. And declaration, and then making a concrete plan. So we think that the voluntary activities are very effective to make a step forward towards the goal of early 100 university. Faculty, staffs, and students can work together voluntarily. Then the idea could be shared among the people of the university. It is also effective to innovate and implement the plan. So this kind of accumulation activities, we can reach the goal. And we held inauguration meeting and a press conference in the heart of Tokyo, and that's in this June. And so we, very many media collected there. And it was broadcast by TV, the morning program, the famous major Japanese TV station, NHK, and also every media, newspapers, and others informed. So it gave a big impact to my society. And also I should say, and our approach is this kind. The energy issue is related to number 7 of SDGs, affordable and clean energy, and number 13, the climate action. And I think, and another one, number 12 is very important. It's also responsible consumption and production of energy. So for responsible consumption of electricity, it is at 100 consumption. And it is very famous, the climate groups are 100. This is procurement. But this is for only for big companies. But it is a part of the society. So to expand renewable energy, it is necessary that every entity should procure electricity by its own effort. It is reasonable, responsible production. So, and I call it RE100 production renewable energy. It's local and decentralized, and which the new paradigm of decentralized sustainable society in the post-COVID-19 age. So universities could show a good example of RE100 production in a sense. Maybe time's over. I stop here. Okay.
Okay, great. You are just in 4 minutes. Thank you, Professor Harashima.
4 minutes, yeah.
Let me as well, and sorry that I forgot to introduce you the co-chair of this session, who is Pat Mexican from University College Cork from Ireland. Pat, do you want to say something before we proceed? I just forgot to introduce you before.
Yeah, no problem. It's great to be here. I'm going to be looking for questions and feeding them into you. So if anybody has any comments or questions, they can either pop them into chat and direct them to me or direct them to the group for discussion. So let's get asking those questions and comments, and we'll turn it into a great discussion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And sorry for that I forgot to introduce you before. So we can proceed to the second presentation, which is from Professor Yada Padithaya from Mangalore University of India. Are you here, Professor? Maybe you are muted.
Yes, I'm here. I'm not the Vice Chancellor Yada Padithaya. I'm Manjunath Patari, the Dean. I'm representing him.
Excuse me?
I've been asked by the Vice Chancellor to be on this panel, and the Vice Chancellor's office, Professor Prashant Nayak, also is there.
Okay, I will present it. Shall I move with the presentation?
Prashant.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, of course. Just know that you have 4 minutes, 5 strictly.
4 minutes.
Okay,
yes.
okay. I would like to present that concept of our presentation, that is implementation of environment-friendly strategies for energy conservation and mitigation of climate change, a holistic approach in Mangala Gangotri campus, that is Mangalore University. As we all know, conservation and nature with a focus on saving energy and mitigation of climate change is the need of the hour. Having realized scientific reasons for climate change, many strategies and technological advancements have been made for the last few decades to conserve energy and reduce emission of greenhouse gases. In this context, Mangalore University, on its headquarters Mangala Gangotri campus, adopted and implemented many eco-friendly activities, technologies, and policies for sustainable development. Infrastructure was set up to harness a renewable source of energy by installing solar power panels of the electricity generation of 361,290 kilowatt-hour per month. Replacement of incandescent light bulbs with LED bulbs with an energy saving of around 62%, and procurement of most energy efficient electronic and electrical devices saving energy up to 47%. Many strategies have been implemented to reduce the carbon footprint. The carbon dioxide emission for the last 12 months was 1,821 metric tons. The total carbon footprint divided by total campus population is currently in the range of 0.4 to 0.10 metric tons. These strategies include effective implementation of e-governance by adopting e-office of Government of Karnataka and campus management system, social media and email-based official communication that significantly reduced the usage of papers up to 70%. A complete ban on single-use plastics, recycling of organic wastes through vermicomposting, pot composting, biogas production, and encouraging electric vehicles. Altogether, these have significantly reduced the release of greenhouse gases in and around the campus in our efforts to join with the global efforts to drop carbon footprint below 2 tons by 2050. The rainwater harvesting through rooftop catchments and check dams contributed to 50% of water conservation on the campus. The campus biodiversity has been further enriched by periodical tree plantation with a special reference to the planting of fruit yielding saplings. It has not only helped to enhance the green ambience with the continuous release of fresh oxygen, but also helped the increasing biodiversity with special reference to birds, including migratory ones, as witnessed by regular conduct of the campus bird count. One student, one plant, a new initiative of our university, was effective in making our students more sensitized about nature. Through this initiative, every student is showered with the responsibility of taking care of minimum of one sapling on the campus during the period of their stay on the campus from day one to completion of their studies. They have been motivated for this by awarding an appreciation certificate. Registered in the United Nations for a mission to restore 1 billion hectares of the earth to ecologically fertile ecosystems in 10 years, and continued with plantation drive with the involvement of students, faculty, and non-teaching staff. In 2020-21, over 1,000 saplings were planted, and our effort is continued. As an institutional social responsibility, the university has been making efforts to disseminate the knowledge of eco-friendly practices by conducting public awareness programs such as street fly, processions, book publications, handbill distribution, so on and so forth. Okay. In addition, workshops, training, and seminars, conferences were also conducted. Organized a special plantation drive as a part of the Independence Day celebration on August 15, 2021 by planting edible fruit-yielding plants. The planted saplings were tagged with a label composed of names of freedom fighters and information such as taxonomic names, common names, and economic importance of the plant were given in QR code. Smart buildings with special reference to energy and resource savings in terms of ventilation, lighting, greenery, sensor, rooftop catchment, and energy efficient appliances have been successfully implemented for existing and newly constructed ones. Vatsalya
One more
Nidhi.
minute.
Okay.
Please.
Vatsalya Nidhi, wall of kindness, is not only helping the general public but also contributed to nature conservation in terms of free cycle. Thereby 4 R's, that is reduce, reuse, recycle, and recover of the waste management are effectively practiced on the campus. Our enthusiasm to contribute to the mitigation of climate change by the implementation of eco-friendly strategies and programs on the campus will continue with still more collective efforts. Thank you one and all.
We thank you very much for this interesting presentation. We have some questions already, so we can proceed directly to have 10 more minutes of presentations and 10 minutes of discussion to the third presentation, who is from Professor Margarita Redina from RUDN University of Russia. Professor Redina is here.
Yes, hello, dear colleagues. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, great.
Yes, fine. Okay, today I would like to present you a little information about ecosystem services of the city campus on the example of the People's Friendship University of Russia, or RUDN University. And generally, this project is devoted to research to evaluation of our carbon footprint of our university as a part of the development of general environmental protection policy, sustainability policy, and so on in our university. First of all, talking about our achievements in different UI granitic categories, the energy and climate change category is not the best among our achievements. So we would like to improve the situation, and we would like to make some investigations and to understand whether our campus is really so carbon intensive or extensive. So talking about this project, we are situated in the city, in a big city. Our district in Moscow is quite good for the people, comfortable for the people and for students and for the staff of our university. The territory is quite green, but the problem is we are surrounded by a lot of highways, roads with huge traffic. So it's necessary to understand in what state is our territory and whether our ecosystem can consume CO2 and greenhouse gases in general. And for these purposes, we organized an environmental monitoring system. We evaluated the state of our ecosystems on the territory of the university. And we divided our territory in 3 functional zones. And currently, for these 3 functional zones, we are going to study the consumption of greenhouse gases. So the first evaluations in different parts of our territory allowed us to understand that this division, these three functional zones, they are really very, very different in consumption of CO2. And daily concentrations, daily dynamics of CO2 concentrations in atmospheric air and in soils is quite similar in polluted zone, in the zone where we have a lot of traffic activities, and it is quite normal state of environmental systems, of ecosystems, soils, vegetation, etc., in not polluted zone, in park area. So currently, we are going to organize these investigations. We try to develop a program on carbon side, carbon consumption side, and we are going to make evaluations about consumption of greenhouse gases by our ecosystems under the transport pollution, under the transport pressure. So we would like to make evaluations for ecosystem services provided by our ecosystems. I think such a project can be organized in some partner universities, so we are open for the collaboration, and we would be very, very interested in cooperation with other universities if somebody want to organize these investigations, this program. So we'll be happy to cooperate here. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the presentation and for respecting the time. And we can go directly to the fourth presentation of Professor Kanthamanon, who is from King Mongat University of Technology from Thailand. Are you here? You are muted.
Sorry.
Okay,
thank you,
great.
Chairman. Okay. Good morning.
4 minutes, please.
Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And Swadee Krap, ladies and gentlemen. To summarize our work, sustainable energy management at King Mongkut University of Technology, Thonburi, or in short, KMUTT. I would like to say that we start and continue our journey in sustainable university development with commitment from past, present, and future president by cultivating sustainability leadership in all of our activity, from policy, operation, teaching, to conducting research. Our three key strategies that we deploy to implement our sustainability policy are: the first one, build up the belief by developing our physical infrastructure as a learning environment to let people understand from their daily work and life. And second, get everyone involved by engaging people with various planned activities. And the last one, the third, make sure continuous improvement with the TQM concept. This means the continuous measurement and monitoring is very important in the process. The most important of this strategy is to develop our students and staff to become change agents, having the keen hearts, which we believe that they will create a sustainability impact with high multiplying factors. In order to make it happen, we employ SEP for SDG, or sufficient economy philosophy for SDG concept in our operation process. Furthermore, we also extend this strategy to engage students and people in community and rural area outside university to expand our social agent concept. In Sustainable Energy Management 2024 roadmap, we also employ these strategies by focusing on 4 areas. The first area is energy usage reduction. Second is energy efficient apparent usage. Then the third, renewable energy usage, and the fourth one, the last one, carbon footprint reduction. These are our key strategy and implementation that reward us our achievement, the world first rank in SDG 7, affordable and clean energy, ranking by Time Higher Education Impact Ranking. Thank you very much for your attention. สวัสดีครับ That's it all for me, Mr. Chairman.
Great. Thank you very much, and for respecting the time as well. So we can, I can give the floor to Professor Mehigan. I think there is one question for each presenter. We have about 10 minutes to be on time because they strictly advise us to be on time. So I think 2 minutes for each presenter is fine.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we've had a few questions come in, and I'm going to start with the first presentation from Professor Harshima, if that's okay. First of all, I've been really impressed with your program. I've looked at your video and what an impact you've had in as a dean and as a president. So congratulations, and it just goes to show a person in leadership can lead and can challenge the university. So please keep challenging. The first question is of your electrical load, how much of it is met by your on-site renewables as opposed to renewables from the grid? And a follow-up question to that from somebody was, how did you pay for this expansion? Did you use third-party banking agencies or service contractors? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, this is a very important point. And one point is our university is in the field of social science and not in science technology. So the use of the total amount of usage of electricity is much lower. And I was working at the Tokyo Institute of Technology, Tokyo Tech, and I was there. So I know that such a technology university has lots of usage of electricity. But maybe in the case of my university, Chiba University of Commerce is social science fields, so 1/10. So I made challenge because of my background with Tokyo Tech, so I can do this. And so, but anyway, it's very expensive. So we create a private company outside of university. So CUC Energy company. So this company collect money, financing, then purchase the facilities, LED or such solar panels. My company, my private company, and my colleagues create this company, and this company make a lease to the university, CUC. So by this, we can make a big investment. So we can get the subsidy from the government because of such big investment, and then also by leasing. So the budget for the university budget is much lower, more than 1/10, very small. So we could make such a consensus to install new facilities. Then we could do this. So from this, I would like to expand this to other universities in Japan. So we have close to 800 universities in Japan. So CUC is the #1. So we have some experience. So I invited many such presidents of other universities to join us to exchange our information and knowledge. And so we would support to make another R100 university in Japan. So we create Renewable Energy University League of Japan. Thank you very much.
What a fantastic initiative, and what a fantastic example of innovation and finding ways to finance this fight against climate change. And hopefully it'll inspire organizations on the call as well. Thank you. My next question is that came in for our colleagues in Mangalore, and again, looking at your presentation, some fantastic stuff. You know, the 1,000 saplings, giving each new student plants when they come in. You know, just creating that connection with the earth is fantastic. And also the white walls to reduce energy and natural ventilation, brilliant. The question that we have for yourself is on about you mentioned single-use plastics and the banning of single-use plastic. How difficult was that to do in the university, and what did you find from it?
Okay, sir. Single-use plastics include carry bags, spoons, water bottles, wrapper, plates, such things. Usually, many people carry water bottles. When we conduct conferences or workshops, usually we see on the programs keeping plastic water bottles. All such things have been totally banned, and whatever shops are there, where also it is strictly made mandatory that no use of plastics, no use of carry bags. Thereby, campus is made plastic free.
Wow, really, really good. We've been trying to do that for, I think it'll take us about another 2 years, because by the time we figure out how do we give alternatives to our students and our staff before we can kind of take away the water. But it sounds like really impactful and really gets the community engaged. Great, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Professor Redina, if there's again one question came in for yourself, and again there was a really good presentation. If people haven't seen it, it just highlights the importance of green spaces to our cities and to our people, and that connection with nature. You mentioned a lot of the research that you've done, and has it led to any change in how you manage your estate in terms of your expansion of green spaces? And has it led to any change in the transport habits, and particularly the pollution that comes from being adjacent to the roads?
Yeah. So regularly we conduct a plantation drive.
I'm sorry. That's for the next speaker. Sorry.
So,
That's for. Yeah. Sorry, Professor Redina. Can you come in?
Margarita. Yeah, Margarita.
Yeah, Margarita is no longer in the building, I think, and somebody is sharing their screen. So who's ever sharing the screen, that they can maybe cease. Great. Margarita, are you there? If not, we just move on to our colleagues in Thailand, if that's okay. Again, some really great initiatives. I think what stood out for me was the impact that you had on the community, and the impact on the renewable energy and its expansion out into the community was really inspiring. And a fantastic to you and your colleagues to be ranked first in the Times Higher Education for SDG 7. It's a fantastic achievement, which I'm sure you're proud of. So my question that came in is, you mentioned 3 wares during your presentation. You mentioned peopleware, hardware, and software. And that's 3 difficult subjects. Out of the 3 of them, which one was the most or the least difficult to manage? And which one had the biggest impact for your energy conservation? Thank you.
Well, probably, thank you for your mention to our world first rank in SDG 7. I think for us, the most important issue is the peopleware. As you seen in our strategy, because our strategy believe in invest in people, as we say that we would like to build a green heart in the people, and we believe that the green heart will become. You see that if you invest in infrastructure, the multiplying factor for impact is might be at most of 5, multiplied by 5. But if we implement in the people and make them mindset to concern about the sustainability or even the energy sustainability, we believe that by having that knowledge and concern and mindset, they will propagate this idea and concept to the other, and we think that the multiplying factor will be very great. So that's why we invest more in peopleware. Okay, for the hardware and software, probably the hardware is very difficult for us. KPT is quite a small university. We have very low area of the roof, I mean the rooftop area. So in terms of the invest in, for example, the solar energy, we can build only about 2 megawatt altogether. So it cannot be able to use enough to use in our university, right? So we expand that idea to the community, to the rural area, to the national park. Okay, so by building the example and using our research in either low flow rate turbine to build to generate electricity for the rural area or something like that, and use that as the tools to let the people see how we can do the sustainable development by example and by their daily life. So that is my answer to your question. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It was a really good presentation, and if people haven't seen them, I'd encourage them to check the videos. It was really good watching. I've watched them 2 or 3 times, and I've made lots of notes about ideas that I can implement in my own organization. So I think that's the questions that we have, and if we have any questions, we'll open up for discussions. But just on behalf of the group, if we give everybody a virtual applause just for the effort that they put into their presentation. And thank you for sharing your knowledge and your experience.
Thank you very much.
I'll hand
back
and wonderful
for the great session.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, bye-bye.
I have one more question for Professor Harashina.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Thank you for your presentation, Professor.
Yeah.
I'm interested in your your project that called Renewable Energy 100. It means that you replace 100% of the electricity energy of the campus to the renewable energy.
Yes.
So may I know how much of the total electricity power consumptions of your university so that you can replace 100% by using renewable energy? How much electricity power consumptions?
Yeah. 360万だからね。3,060,000 mega, no, 3.6 megawatt hour.
Oh, okay. Okay, 3.6. Okay. Thank you so much. And may I know also what is the total area of your university?
Yeah, it's not so big. About 10 hectares something. Not
10 hectares.
Yeah.
So it means that you replaced the solar panels, the total of electricity power 100% using solar panels.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our strategy is to reduce the usage of electricity, to save energy. So we changed with all lights to LED lights. So by this, we could decrease 25% reduction of usage. Then plus creation.
Okay.
Production is by solar panels. We have mega solar on the other side, and also rooftop solars, both. So in total, we could create 16%, more than 60%, 80-something%. And also, for nighttime, we procure from such a renewable energy company, which is produced by biomass or wind power. So in total.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So save energy,
okay.
Produce energy, and purchase energy. So three ways. Okay. Thank you very much.
Perfect.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Professor. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. So we became another designator of Race to Zero, United Nations Race to Zero champions. We signed.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I have a question to Thailand people. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm very interested in your activities. So your technology has been applied to the community.
Right.
So what type of renewable energy in that case? wind power, water. What type of renewable energy your technology?
Basically, we build the what we call it's echo somewhere. Actually, from our research lab, so we just build the what we call the microgrid. It's something combined with the wind energy and the solar energy, and probably back up by the the diesel electric generator. So we build that for national park. Why it's so good for the national park? You know that for the national park in the high mountain, okay, it's very hard to take the diesel fuel up to the hill. So by using the combination of energy, okay, renewable energy, so it can reduce the usage of the diesel petrol, okay, the diesel fuel for them, and that we get the price from the ASEAN reward as well for that. So the other thing is something like from our research lab as well. It's a we call it low flow rate electric turbine. Okay, you know that most of the rural area have the waterway that the water just not very high flow rate. It's just very slow flow rate. So we design the turbine such that the windlass can something like have that what we call low flow rate electric generator turbine in that waterway, and they can generate the electricity for at least the light, just a light, okay, and that light is very enough or important for the windlass because they don't have the electricity that can get into the windlass. You see that, so that can change their life. I mean that can have an impact in their life, and they can see that by only using something from nature, so they can produce something that can have a benefit in their life. So we build that for use, and we also build that for make their mindset to become something like the change agent for the sustainable development. So we build it for use and build it for learning, and build up the mindset to become the change agent. And that is our concept and idea when we doing something like this. We focus on both usage and make it to learn. Right. That is the example of the renewable energy that we doing. This is just only two examples. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you all again, and I think we're going to give the floor to the next session.
Okay.
It's the chair here. I think the chair is Erna Matters or Margarita Redina, who is co-chair.
Is he away? No.
Daryl, I'm sorry I'm this late. I was lost in the virtual reality. Can I start?
Yes, we finished the previous session, so we can start the second one.
Okay, so I'm the chair, I think. I'm not sure, but I can take on that job. So we're in the session 2B on best practices in sustainable transportation. We have four, how do you call that? Four panelists. I want to introduce them to you. It's Professor Dr. Mustafa Fersan Kök from Turkey, from the Middle East Technical University. I'm not sure, is he present? Then we have Associate Professor Kitikorn Charmindisit, I'm sorry if I pronounced the name not right, from Mahidol University from Thailand. The third third panelist is Dr. Panigiatis Papantonion, University of West Attica in Greece. And the fourth person, hello, is Jose Bambero from UNSAM, and that is, I think, a abbreviation of a university in Argentina. So welcome to you all. I want to ask all persons that joined this session to put their questions in the chat room, if they have any, and I want to invite the panelists to do a short presentation of 3 or 4 or 5 minutes to explain about their the presentation that they put on the YouTube channel. So I want to invite the first person, that's Professor Dr. Mustafa Fersan Kök. So I invite you to start your short presentation of 3 or 4 minutes. I don't think he is there.
Hello, Erna. I'm Sam Fahy. I am your co-chair in this session, and I don't think he's here either.
Okay, so let's continue with the second then.
One? Yeah.
Yeah. This is the Professor Kitikorn from Thailand.
Yes, good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of the participants. Today I will summarize my presentation related to the mobility system of the Mahidol University. Actually, Mahidol University is, we have a main campus, not located in Bangkok. The main campus of Mahidol University located in Nakhon Pathom province. It's not too far, it's around 15 kilometers. Go west of Bangkok, you can reach our main campus. The mobility system of the Mahidol University is very important. We have the master plan initiated in year 2008 in order to develop our mobility system serving the student and staff activities. The mobility system management of our campus is classified into 4 parts, which are public transportation, public space, public recreation areas, public walking and cycling pathway, and public parking areas. For the public transportation, right now we have a shuttle bus service between our campus in Bangkok and the main campus in the Nakhon Pathom province. Also, we have a shuttle bus service to another campus, Go West, in Kanchanaburi province. Inside the campus, we have electrical trams service, like a feeder. When staff and students have their own vehicle come to our main campus, you can parking at the public parking area, and then we have tram feeding them to the building. This is encourage them to use and saving the energy by using the pool transportation system of our campus. Moreover, in our campus, since year 2008, we initiate the culture. We call the culture encourage our students to use a bicycle. In our campus, we have around 20,000 students in our main campus and around 4,000 staff living, working at our main campus. Right now, totally of the bicycle population that having in our main campus is close to 10,000 bicycles used in our main campus. In year 2009, we starting to recreate our main campus, more greening and reducing the street for vehicle. Previously, we have 6 lanes for vehicle transportation. For the University Council, we renovate our street. We expand more pathway for walking and cycling and reduce the street for vehicle into 3 lanes and expand the wider of the pedestrian pathway and cycling pathway. Inside our main campus for the public recreation and public space area, we have a national, we have Siri Lukkachat Nature Learning Park. This is the total area is around 59 acres. We just received the Botanic Garden Conservation International Certification in July 2021. This is the big natural public area for staff and student and community living nearby our campus. For the walking and cycling, we can guarantee that our main campus have the longest cycling route compared to other campus in Thailand, because we encourage our students and staff to use bicycle inside our campus. Anyway, for Thai people, the main transportation is a private cars. Most of our staff and students, they have their own private cars because actually in Thailand, you can see in Bangkok and province around Bangkok, the public transportation is not quite good. So we start to have a public parking area for them. Right now, we promote our parking area to be a smart parking for them with real-time parking information and management to supply the parking space for the user. And as I told you that from the staff and students who have their own vehicles, you can park it at the public parking area and use the public transportation electrical tram to transport around our main campus. We hope that we trying for reach more sustainable transportation. We're trying to increase more walkability and use the bicycle parallel with the low carbon emission of the public transportation by using the renewable energy. Our wish that the university administration can use our case study as a model for mobility development in the campus for the near future. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. It took a little bit longer time, but it was a very interesting story. I really liked the way that you had these 4 pillars that you're working on in your presentation. So thank you for explaining a little bit more. So now we will discuss later on in after all the presentations have been done. So I will ask the next person, that is Dr. Panagiotis Papantonion from the University of West Attica, Greece. Are you there?
Yes, thank you.
So you can take the floor.
Okay, thank you very much. For 2-3 minutes, let me just introduce you the good practices that have been implemented in the University of West Attica related to transport. I'm Panagiotis Pantoniou. I'm assistant professor in the University of West Attica. I'm civil transportation engineer and president of the Hellenic Institute of Transportation Engineers. And let me say that the University of West Attica includes 27 departments. It's the third biggest university in Greece with more than 50,000 people, students, and it has 3 campuses. And it's interesting that all campuses are located in the center of Athens. Not just in the center, but in the center of the region of Attica and in different municipalities in Athens. So it's very interesting to see the transport-related problems and solutions that we have done. So our objective is to present very briefly now the transport-related to transport practices. And we have worked in 5 different areas. The first is parking management. The second is soft modes infrastructure. The third is public transport. The fourth, car-related issues, and fifth, environment and energy. And very briefly, let me tell you that regarding the zero-emission strategy of the University of West Attica, there is an electric bus connecting the 2 main campuses. There is a 2-passenger electric vehicle that has been developed for research purposes. There is an instrumented electric vehicle that has a quality and meteorological data measurement station, which is very important as well, and a charging station inside the University of West Attica. Considering traffic restrictions, in order to reduce passenger vehicle trips between the two university campuses, there is an electric bus, as I told you before, that has been developed and connects 4 times per day without any charge the 2 campuses, and lets research staff and students to move from one campus to the other without using their private car. Regarding parking, as I said, it's very important considering that all universities are located inside the urban area where are very strong problems of parking. That's why the parking ratio is calculated, and we work on it to have as much as more parking spaces inside the campuses, because it's very difficult for people to park outside. Regarding soft modes infrastructure, we put a lot of effort to both outdoor and indoor facilities for disabled, and of course sidewalks and handrails. And to conclude, just to mention that in the future a sustainable mobility plan, in the way it's used in cities, can be developed in the university to act as a master plan for the transportation issues that we deal. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you for your presentation. I really liked it. I also watched your video and was really impressed that you have, like, I think 52,000 students. It's a lot of students. I was attracted to your zero emission strategy, and I think you mentioned the solar electric vehicle charging station, which I really liked as well. So I want to invite the next panelists, and that's Mr. Jose Barbero from Argentina, and I think I see. So you can take the floor.
Thank you, the chairman. Hello to everybody from Argentina. My name is Jose Barbero. I represent Universidad Nacional de San Martín. We call it UNSAM. It's a young public university located in the metropolitan region of Buenos Aires, where I lead the Transportation Institute. This university has quite a diversified economic activity, with emphasis on social sciences and biosciences and many areas. The size of the university is around 23,000 students. This is what we have. And we have a main campus. The campus is located in an old railroad repair shop. It's a railroad land that we use for that. And we have one main campus, only one, with some offices around the city. Regarding the management of the campus, we developed a couple of years ago a good practice management for a good practice manual related to environmental issues in the campus, which includes many areas. One of them is about transportation and mobility. We made an analysis of how people reach the campus, just not only the origin, the transportation mode, the time of the day, etc., which have to have a good perspective, not only about the students, but also about other members of the university community. After that, we made some progress in several areas. One of them is that we achieved the adaptation of the public transportation routes to make the buses pass in front of the campus. We organized a shuttle service. It's a bus linking the campus with other public transport nodes in the area. We developed electric carts inside the campus to move people. We have a long-shaped campus. This is elongated. Therefore, this movement is really very important. And we deployed internal trails. We are in the process of promoting bicycles. But well, because of pandemic and like we are not much progress now. But this is the idea, and with several initiatives also promoting some pathways in the neighbor areas. Just to conclude, we are working hard in transportation and the environment, but in another perspective, which is helping the government in defining the public policy as regards climate change and transportation. We have involved deeply on that, making analysis on how to decarbonize activities in freight transportation, in passenger transportation as well. We are supporting the government in elaborating the documents to be presented to the United Nations panel. And well, we are happy because now we are going to start a job with a German government financing support, helping the government in the implementation, not just the elaboration, but implementation of the transportation chapter of the climate change policy in the country. And I hope that this gives you a brief idea on what we do, both in movement in the campus, as well as our involvement in the environmental and transportation issues. That's it.
Well, thank you. You were within your time, so thank you very much. I also watched your movie, of course, and maybe lots of persons present here. And that was the timer. So I liked that you mentioned the good environmental practice manual and that our mobility has is a theme in it. Yeah, and also the combination of what your university does on research on improving mobility, sustainable mobility in Argentina and maybe in South America. I'm not sure. So I don't know if the first person from Turkey is already in the meeting or that he's not there. If not, we can just start with the discussion. And we have some questions. Samantha, did you look at the questions or?
Yes, I've taken a look at the questions, and so some of them are specific to some of the speakers. So maybe we go through the ones that are specific to the specific speakers first, and then I think there are some that are more general.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. So in the first one.
For Professor Kitty Korn, do you calculate carbon reduction rates after implementing using bicycles and electric trams? And if yes, what is the reduction rate?
Actually, we calculate the total amount of the greenhouse gas emission, but we calculate, we call the carbon footprint, following the carbon footprint organization methodology, the GHG greenhouse gas accounting greenhouse gas protocol. We not calculate the carbon footprint from the switching using the electrical tram and regular fossil-based tram, because we start to use the electrical tram I think just 3 or 4 years ago. You know, I mean, and this is an outsource that we asking, we pay money for them, and they take all the transportation to our campus, and we just pay the money. This is not included in the carbon footprint organization methodology calculation in scope 1 and scope 2. We calculate just scope 1 and scope 2.
Okay, so you don't do scope 3 emissions?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
But we know that when we switch to electrical, is the carbon footprint would be lower than the fossil fuel based, I think.
Yes, one would hope. It depends on how your electricity is made. There's a follow-on question on the charge. Do you provide charging for batteries for your electric vehicles on campus?
Yes, yes, we have the electrical station charging inside our campus only for the tram. We start from the tram. Okay. Because the EV in Thailand is not popular right now. Okay.
Thank you very much. There's a follow-on question then as well on the person. The question would be, the questioner would be interested to know how universities encourage and implement the bicycle systems and what strategies you employ to put this in place.
Asking me?
Yes, you.
Okay. Actually, our campus, the physical, I mean the landscape. Actually, before we established our campus, there are the paddy field before. The landscape is paddy field, and the landscape of our campus is not like the landscape. It's easy to bicycle. You know what I mean? Firstly, we encourage them because in Thailand it's very hot and humid. The student doesn't like to ride a bicycle because it's very hot and raining. We encourage them by, we have an accessory for them. For example, the cap, and also a nice bicycle. The bicycle, we change color to the white color, the all white color. And we encourage them, like if you ride a bicycle with the cap, this is look cool. You know, we're starting with a small group of the students, and using the social media to encourage all the group. When they saw the senior and the friends ride a bicycle with a smart cap and a very beautiful bicycle, so this is like a expand more and more, encourage them to use a bicycle. Right now, we're facing a problem with the bicycle parking. You know what I mean? Inside our campus, we have more than, I think, 10,000 bicycle using in our campus. If you come to our campus, so staff and students, even myself, I'm going to the building inside our campus. I use a bicycle and electrical bicycle. You know what I mean? So this is we facing a problem with the bicycle parking, because the student, when they goes to the class, they usually come to the same time and parking all the bicycle really at the space that they have. So we need to provide a lot of more space for bicycle right now. This is our my answer, how to encourage them.
That's very interesting. And I guess when I was watching the videos before as well, I was very interested to see that lots of the campuses that presented in this section had said that they'd used natural shading. So they put in trees along a lot of the cycle
exactly.
paths.
Yes, exactly. That helped them for not too hot when they ride a bicycle. And one thing that you need to have is a bicycle lane, because they can separate make a safety and security for staff and students who use a bicycle inside the campus.
Yes. Thank you very much. I have a question as well, if it's okay with the chair, for the second speaker, yeah. Dr. Papantanu. Excuse me for my pronunciation of your name. Can you share how much is the maintenance cost for the electric bus on a monthly basis, for instance? Which is cheaper, gasoline bus or electric bus?
Yes, thank you for the question. To be honest, the electric bus still has no maintenance cost. And I think this refers to all electric vehicles that in the first especially years, and considering that this electric bus does not have a very frequent use, it operates only 4 times per day in a standard route that is almost 7 kilometers between the 2 campuses. So it operates not very often, and it operates in university in the last 1.5 years. So to be honest, there are no operational maintenance costs yet. In general, if we can talk about this type of the electric vehicles and the gasoline vehicles, I think that normally the electric vehicles should be cheaper in the maintenance, especially in the first 10 years. Then, okay, with the battery, we may have some problems. But I think that it is a very good solution for universities to connect their campuses with these low-cost solutions.
Thank you very much. We in DCU were looking at a bus to connect our campuses, and we found that the biggest cost of having a shuttle bus go between campuses was paying the driver rather than the actual operational cost of the bus itself.
Yes,
and then, go ahead.
Yes, it's a very interesting point, yes.
Yep. So then there are 2 questions for our speaker from Argentina. How do universities contribute to the specific aspects of transport within the framework of the Sustainable Development Goals? My goodness, that is a very broad question.
It is.
You're muted at the moment, sir. Dr. Barbero, you're actually muted, so we can't hear you. You appear to be speaking, but...
I am now here.
Thank you.
Well, you know, the development strategies, the Sustainable Development Goals now, they include transportation in few of the chapters, particularly, I guess, in the number 9 and number 11 and number 3, which is a progress, because in the previous one, in the 2015, transportation was really absent. No, in this regard, well, the new Sustainable Development Goals, they promote safety, clean transportation, inclusive transportation. There are few ideas, no? In some cases, they are... In some cases, these policies are included in the Paris Agreement, especially as regard decarbonization and climate change. And well, we at university, we are supporting that. The government asked support from that, and we got also some requests from international organizations, particularly by the World Bank. Well, this is the way in which we are involved in supporting these national policies.
Okay, thank you very much. And there is a second request for a comment from you on the Argentine government's transportation and climate change strategy. The estimate, okay, sorry, I should read this correctly. Comment for the USM speaker, in USM's presentation, there were a comment on the Argentine government's transportation strategy. We estimate that after the Paris Agreement, was it your initiative or were you called on by the government?
No.
Did it come from the university or did the government ask you to become involved?
Well, it is the government that called the university for this support. We have a team of people. We started a few years ago generating meetings. There were people working in climate change and transportation in Argentina, but they didn't get together. We did that, and we started some analysis in areas, and particularly on freight. You know, in Latin America, there was a bias in looking at transportation and climate change, mostly in urban areas. But really, the freight system is perhaps a key one about, I think that nowadays in Argentina, about 2/3 of the expected reductions of emissions are in freight, more than in urban transportation. And we made some analysis on especially modal shift from trucks to railway, and particularly on how to reduce emissions within the trucking industry, which is so relevant in Argentina and around the world. And there is room for a lot of improvement on that. We are involved in that and preparing the national determined, the documents that the government had to present. Well, that's it.
Okay, thank you very much. Chairperson, I see that our first speaker has now joined the meeting. I don't know whether you'd like to ask him to say his few words.
Yeah, maybe we can do that. So, Professor Dr. Mustafa Vezhan Kok from the, what was it? Middle East Technical University in Turkey. You were a bit late, but you're welcome to join your few words on your presentation now. Take just 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chairman. Well, I think it's our mistake, but nobody has informed us about the room ABC, so we were waiting in the room A. Unfortunately, it's our mistake. Sorry for that. But a lot of people are waiting in the room A, in my opinion. Anyway, I'd like to give you a very short information. Our university campus area is about 4,500 hectares, and we have a forest of 3,100 hectares, and we have our lake, which is Amir Lake, which is around 20 kilometers away from our university. Well, our university deals with transportation policies under 3 main headings. These are reducing in-campus traffic, encouraging public transport, and facilitating pedestrian traffic and bicycle use. And the transportation policies should be determined by taking into account a database institution analysis as well as the general principles. In our large campuses, we have 7 gates, and where 3 of them are in use. And the main gate is the A1, which is just very next to the subway station. We have another important gate, which is A4. It's a close neighborhood where most of the students reside and making the pedestrian access possible. And the last one is the gate 7, is reserved for vehicle traffic linked to urban roads network, which is used by our Technopolis employees. In our university, every day, we have around more than 2,000 vehicles that are entering the campus, and only students and staff with the proper car stickers and the visitors with sound excuses are allowed to enter the campus. The increasing campus population over the years, where we have students around 28,000, and with the others employees, our population reaches to 45,000 in the days of the week. This, of course, has led to the insufficiency in parking lots, and therefore policies have been developed to use the parking lots effectively and to reduce the private vehicle traffic. And our initiative was to use the satellite parking lots in order to reduce the campus traffic, increase the fees of car stickers for alumni, visitors, and Technopolis personnel, and limiting the entrance of Technopolis personnel to the campus by designating a separate gate for their use. And our campus is a pedestrian and a cyclist-friendly environment, and also with a central alley, there are many roads close to the vehicle traffic in order to provide a safe environment for pedestrian and the cyclists. And infrastructures and the safety features of walking paths and bike lanes are continuously encouraged, taking into account the suggestions for the students. And it is possible to reach the campus by alternative public transportation vehicles from many parts of the city. And the public transportation in Ankara is cheap and students are offered a discount fee. And our university have a free shuttle services every hour to the 42 different areas to the city. And we also introduced the online map showing the exact leave locations of the shuttles in the university. A map is accessible through a mobile phone applications and dedicated website. And finally, I just want to inform you that in 2019, we introduced electrical car charging stations on the campus, and new stations will be installed across the campus. And we are planning to encourage the electric car usage in order to reusing the entrance sticker fees for electric cars and allocating dedicated parking space for electric cars, which will be next to the building entrances. And as a result of our policies and applications in relation to optimizing the campus transportation in 2019, the number of vehicles entering the campus is reduced around 30%, and in parallel manner, the number of passengers using the shuttle service are increased by 25%. That's all for my talk. Again, please accept my apologies for being late, and I wish everybody, all the participants, a nice and a safe time. Thank you very much.
Just right on time. It's 4 minutes. Sorry. Well, thank you, Professor Mustafa.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
I hope did I pronounce your name right? I'm not sure, but I really liked your movie as well from your presentation. Gave a nice overview of your campus, and yeah, also that you just then mentioned the mobility options that you have, but also issues. So, is there still a question?
That is the conclusion of all the questions that have come in through the chat box. Maybe I could pose a question. I know we only have a few minutes left, but I wondered about, given what happened during COVID, and I guess within our university, when COVID happened, we didn't have any students apart from our research students, which is a very small number, on campus. And what we did was everything was delivered remotely. And we're now moving back towards a much more bringing. Come September, we are hoping that students are going to come back onto campus again. But there is an assessment going on about the carbon savings that were made by not having students commute on a daily basis, and how we can adjust our education system and our transport systems to actually reduce the amount of transport that students have to do coming to and from campus. And I'm wondering, is there anybody else in the EC or the IWGM community doing something similar? And so it was an open question to absolutely anybody.
So is there anyone who want to? Yeah, for my university, Wageningen University in the Netherlands, we had a nice mobility policy, and now we're thinking how to adapt that to the new situation that there has arisen. So we did fly less, we did commute less, we did more remotely, and we didn't go to conferences, but did it online. So some things has changed, and still we have to do a lot to get the carbon emissions from transport into to decrease that, because it's only growing, and I expect that it will be growing if we go back to normal again. So what will be the new normal after COVID? So maybe is there someone else that wants to react?
Other participants are welcome to open their mics and just
if that's possible,
if they wish. I don't know whether it's possible actually.
Or maybe one of the panelists can comment on this.
Because, for instance, we have done our Scope 3 carbon emissions, and our commuting emissions, just for staff and students commuting to and from our campus, are about 26% of our total carbon emissions, which is higher than our total energy consumption for both gas and electricity combined for the entire campus. So the commuting is a much more difficult emissions to actually tackle than just looking at energy consumption reductions.
That's what I noticed too. Yeah. And so this Dr. Mr. Papan from Greece, do you have a comment, or Mr. Kitty Korn from Thailand?
Actually, in my campus, a little bit different. I think in our campus, the total carbon emissions mainly is from electricity consumption, because in our campus is located in hot and humid area, so every building they have a big air conditioned system, and mainly come from the electricity consumption. But actually, we calculate just the following the methodology of the footprint organization. We not calculate the scope 3. If we trying to account the scope 3 from the staff and student transportation, I think it might be huge, because our staff 80% they have their own vehicles. Because our campus 5 or 10 years ago, we have less public transportation from Bangkok to our campus. That's why we have a shuttle bus service between Bangkok campus and Nakhon Pathom campus. Right now is better than 10 years ago. So the staff that's working here, they have their own private car. But anyway, most of our students, we have dormitory for them. So less students who drive a car from their family house. But mainly it's from the staff. But we not account the carbon emission from scope 3. Yes, if we calculate, it might be higher or the same as your result that you calculate from the transportation emission.
Okay, thank you. I think we also at the end of the meeting, it's now 10 to, and we have to go back to the general meeting, I think, so I want to thank all panelists for their interesting stories and also for the answers on the questions. And I want to also thank my co-chair Samantha for helping me and dealing with the questions afterwards for the Q&A. And also thank you for Professor Riri Fitrisari to join our meeting. Nice to see you. So,
Mr. Anna.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Mr. Co-Chair.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Erna and Samantha.
My colleagues, all colleagues, thank you very much.
Have a nice
Thank
time.
you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Have a nice day.
Thank you. So look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Okay, see you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.